The magic carpet takes us now to San Francisco, California. Whoever said that it's bad manners to stretch in public forgot to tell the people in San Francisco, because they're guilty of the longest stretch ever achieved by man, the Golden Gate Bridge. Now the answer to the question millions have asked. Who is responsible for this giant project? Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the man who built the Golden Gate Bridge practically single-handed, Buzz Blackwell.
Buzz is pretty good, isn't he, Daddy?
The higher he goes, the better he gets.
That's what I keep telling the boys down at the office.
We know. We know.
Thank you. All right, Buzz, take a bow. That's right. What have we here? Why, it's none other than that old Raja of rivets, the mighty Fred Johnson, who can climb up slower and come down faster than any man on the job.
Oh, you come down pretty fast yourself when that whistle blows.
My pal. 10 minutes later, he touched me for 20 bucks.
Oh, don't believe him, honey.
That's what he did. And now, folks, hold your hats, because here's the best helper who ever caught a red-hot rivet in his hip pocket. The pride of Sweden, Axel Svensson.
Did somebody call me? Oh, you're showing the movies. I love these little snapshots.
Hey,
Get out of there.
Hey, what's the matter? What's happened? There's the rest of the picture.
Well, they're on your back. Sit over there in the two-bit seats, will you? Now we go again.
Oh, there I come. Ain't I got goom?
You got gum.
Look.
Oh, was I doing that?
Oh, I didn't think I could dance that
Look
good.
out.
Oh, catch me holding a bear.
And now a few other little things whipped up by that tireless trio in their spare time. Boulder Dance.
Oh, I remember that.
The Bonneville Dance.
Yes, remember that?
The Bay Bridge, all built exclusively by Johnson, Blackwell, and Svensson, unincorporated.
Ain't this something?
Say, Buzz, how about me? We're the ones you took here last Wednesday.
Quiet, please. Patience, little lady, patience. One bridge at a time. Ah, here she comes now. With her boyfriend, Crack, that glamour girl of the great outdoors, Miss Patricia Johnson.
Buzz Blackwell, don't you dare call me Patricia. My name is Pat. You're waving.
Two villains. Looks like a dice game. Oh, there it is, too.
They're hungry.
Let me out of there.
Hurry
There
up.
we go.
There we go.
Whoa, live for life. Look at that action. That's the fastest he ever moved in his life. Look out now.
Oh, there's...
Hey, why don't you look where I'm going?
I got the first kiss. I got two of them.
I'm in there. I'm in there.
There you go. I got him now.
Oh, my
there comes the
pal.
hat.
Sniping me in the back.
Oh, you're a cameraman. I'm a plumber.
You and Buzz are so funny, Daddy.
How about yourself, Scarlett?
The pictures are really swell, Buzz. Great things to have, aren't they?
Well, it certainly proved one thing. Boy, we've knocked in our share of rivets since 1930.
But you know, Buzz, our pictures are old-fashioned. They would be much better if you could hear me talk.
Hear you talk. Who'd understand you?
Poor Axel. Buzz, you stop picking on him.
That's right, Pat. Remember that old Swedish proverb, when the strong pick on the weak get weaker.
Oh, get out of here with your proverb.
Well, according to Big Ben, it's exactly 3 minutes to 6. I can just see that whistle getting ready to blow me back to work.
On your way, slave. See that you do a tidy job, too.
Yes, after working night and day for all these months, we don't want that bridge to have a sloppy top.
No.
Wouldn't it be just my luck to draw the last shift on the last night of the job? About 50 of us are going to miss that getaway party tonight.
You'll be through early, Daddy. Now save your seat right next to me.
There she goes. Well, good night, honey. Do your stuff tonight.
I will. Wait a minute.
Hmm?
You'd better take your coat.
What would you do without her, Fred?
But we all do.
I don't know. She's a great little kid, all right. Too bad her mother couldn't have seen her grow up.
Yeah.
Here you are, Daddy. Now you hurry up and get through, and I'll be waiting for you.
Yeah, go on. Get out of here. Let the old godfather take over.
Good night, honey.
Good night, Daddy.
So long, Fred, and don't bump into any clouds up there.
Oh, Daddy,
Yes?
don't forget to bring me that star tonight.
All right, honey, I won't. So long, boys.
So long, Fred.
Daddy's been promising me a star ever since I was that high.
That reminds me. Now, if you want to look like a star tonight, we better do a little rehearsing.
I know my number. I could do it backwards.
You probably will.
How are you going to introduce us, Buzz?
Well, I'll probably start like this. You lucky people. You are about to be entertained by two of the cleverest, wittiest, and most talented performers.
Are you sure they'll know you mean you?
Axel's right. We're not that good.
Well, all right, then. Here's what I'll really say. Friends, we've spent a lot of time together building a bridge, and we've built some swell friendships with it. Tonight, the job will be finished, and tomorrow we'll all be saying goodbye. But now we're here to have fun, so let's get started. Now, this occasion is much too important to be handled by one person alone, so I've drafted one of the deeper thinkers of the community to help me, Miss Patricia Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen,
the subject of the lecture for this evening is political, and no one is more critical than my colleague and I. The subject is political, and no one is more critical or even more analytical than my colleague. My colleague and I.
With
all their foolish theories economical.
In fact, we think it's very
comical. Comical to economical, isn't it comical?
Comical to economical, isn't it comical? And so whenever we meet someone
who thinks that everything is wrong,
we get them in a corner
and we let them hear
this song.
It isn't opera, it's not classic, just a simple little song. Stop!
Stop?
Stop hiding behind a pillow whenever the dawn looks gray. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway. There may be a fortune waiting, or maybe an egg souffle. Get up, get out, you gotta meet the sun halfway. Get into the tub, and as you begin to rub and scrub, give out with your version of the road to Mandalay. Don't ever expect the bright side served up to you on a tray. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway.
You ought to be like Buck Rogers. Just look where he is today. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway. You may be a new Dick Tracy, conducting an expose. Get up, get out, you gotta meet the sun halfway. And don't blame your luck. Do you wanna sound like Donald Duck? You know when you smile you throw yourself a big bouquet. You'd even show little Abner the way to win Daisy May. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway.
All right, wait a minute now. Hey, come on, everybody, join in.
The elephant is a dreamer, but nevertheless he'll say, get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway. The pelican is peculiar, but what does his life convey? Get up, and meet the sun halfway.
If he believes in making hay, so thinking the whole thing over,
We offer this resume.
Make it big,
Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway.
And now for the real music lovers, direct from a successful engagement at the Jade Room of Commissary Number 3, we bring you Joe Blewett and his rollicking Riveteers.
I've saved your seats for you, Pat.
Thank you.
When I was born, Pappy said, ain't he the cutest thing? But he jumped through the window on his head when I began to sing. Waddle-a-ho, doodle-dum-day. He jumped through the window on his head. Waddle-a-ho, doodle-dum-day.
What?
No use, Buzz.
Old Settin' Bull, he sets no more, he sure did meet his doom. His squaw kicked him out through the door when he sang this crazy tune. Waddle-a-ho, doodle-dum-day. His squaw kicked him out through the door. Waddle-a-ho, doodle-dum-day.
Don't let anybody sit here. I'll be right back.
Pappy took
All right,
his jug
Howie.
of corn, he sure was a gay old bird. He didn't come home till early morning, this is what we heard. Waddle-a-ho, doodle-dum-day.
Oh, hello, Slim. Where did Buzz go?
He just walked down the road. He said he needed some air.
Oh, Buzz.
Hello, Pat.
Don't you feel well?
Sure, honey. I feel all right.
Then aren't you going to see the rest of the show? Axel and the band and everything?
Oh, it's too nice a night to sit in that stuffy old hall.
But where are you going?
Just thought I'd take a little walk.
Oh. Can I come along?
Sure, Pat. Maybe you better.
My, but it's quiet.
Seems quiet after all the racket we made getting her put together.
And tomorrow we'll move on. But she'll stay right here forever, won't she?
Practically. The men go, but the bridge stays.
It's beautiful, Buzz.
Pat, do you remember that poem that you learned in school?
You mean my friend the bridge?
That's the one. Would you say it for me?
I wish that someday you'd climb with me to the peak of a wind-blown ridge, where I go to visit my oldest friend, my faithful friend, the bridge. He has looked for years, this friend of mine, at the river that swirls below. He has suffered the heat and the biting cold, and the wind and the rain and the snow.
Well, there's more to a bridge than the stone and the steel. There's the soul of the man who willed it. There's the strength of the men and the hearts of the men and the blood of the men who build it.
Daddy always says that, too.
He was right.
And he says one reason this is a great country is because we build bridges instead of bombing them.
Sounds just like Fred. We used to sit and talk about things like that by the hour. He was my best friend. He was closer to me than a brother.
Was.
Honey, you've been around men like us since you were a baby. You're growing up now, and that's the way I'm going to talk to you. Every job like this has to be paid for, not only in money, but in men. Seems like a high price, but not when you remember that a man who loses his life in work like ours is just as much a hero as a soldier on the battlefield. Except that soldiers have to die destroying things, and we die building them.
We die? Buzz, something's happened to Daddy?
You'll have to be brave, honey. Just like he was.
Oh, Buzz.
He promised you a star tonight, Pat. I guess maybe he went to get it for you.
Well, it's one or two things. I either got too much clothes or I ain't got enough suitcase.
Did you ever hear of the Baldwin Development Company?
What do they develop?
Well, I don't know, but Fred left 1,000 shares of stock for Pat.
Oh, I had some stock in 1928, but then comes 1929.
Well, that's that. Where's the railroad ticket?
Oh, I got them right here in our deposit vault. They will be safe there.
While I think of it, you can hold this for me, too. Be safer there than it'll be in my pocket.
Oh, don't worry. Anybody who wants this money gets me with it.
Now, that's asking too much. Even from a thief.
Say, Buzz, why did we have to take Pat all the way to New York to a relative she doesn't even know?
Because Fred wanted it that way.
But she wouldn't be any trouble. Couldn't we keep her with us?
No, not a chance. This is no life for a kid. She's going to have an education.
Oh, I'd be more than welcome to learn all I know.
That's very including of you, Axel, but I think Pat ought to have a woman around her.
Say, I know what we could do.
Hmm?
You could get married.
That's not a bad idea. You know a nice girl?
Oh, yes.
Then you marry her.
Buzz, remember that great Swedish proverb. People who try to be funny when nobody wants to listen always wind up on the radio.
Mm-hmm. And people who don't get packed in time always wind up missing trains. Now, go on. Get going. Hello, Pat.
Hello, honey.
Where you been?
Crack and I were saying goodbye to some of our friends.
You mean Crack is going with us?
Why, I wouldn't think of leaving him behind. And besides, he's never seen New York.
You know, we only got 3 tickets.
Where'd you put that address?
I got it right here.
Think you better send him a wire. Let him know we're coming, huh?
I never heard Fred mention that Pat had an uncle. What kind of people you suppose he is?
Well, he never talked much about his family, but if anything like Fred was, they're bound to be all right.
Telegram for you, sir.
Oh, thank you, Hedges.
Oh, Hedges, I'm giving a small cocktail party on Wednesday. There'll be about 10 or 12.
Yes, madam.
Great heavens.
What is it, Jarvis?
My brother Fred. He's been killed in an accident.
How upsetting. I must tell Hedges not to bring your telegrams to the table.
Is that the extent of your feeling, Brenda?
Well, you can hardly expect me to weep and tear my hair over a man I've never even known.
Well, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
What is?
Listen to this. Fred's last wish was that you should take care of his daughter, Patricia. So I'm bringing her to you, arriving Wednesday.
Bringing Fred's daughter to us? Who is?
Somebody named Blackwell.
Well, he's certainly taking a great deal for granted.
He's taking too much for granted. We're in no position to take care of a child. We can't afford it.
For once, you're using good judgment.
Despite your opinion, dear, my judgment is usually sound.
Your knowledge of financial matters, Jarvis, is hardly spectacular.
Coming from you, that's very funny. A man would have to get money out of a pump to keep up with your crazy spending.
My spending? Why do I spend? Only to keep up appearances for you. And now you propose to take on the additional burden of this child.
Who proposes? I'm not going to raise anybody's child, much less the daughter of a brother I haven't even seen or heard from in 15 years.
Well, you just can't ignore it. What are you going to do?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I've got to do something.
My, what a friendly city. Everybody's smiling. I like that.
Yeah, well, you're safe until they start laughing. Oh, look.
Say, Buzz,
Huh?
even the squirrels are different in New York.
Yeah, they streamline them. Oh, hey, look at this. There you are, Pat. What do you think of her?
Ain't she cute? I bet she's Charlie McCarthy's sweetheart.
Buzz, I don't have to wear things like that, do I? I look like a cream puff.
Well, they don't look like cream puffs. They look like little ladies. That's the way you should look. I want your relatives to like you when they meet you for the first time.
That's right. If you don't like a man when you meet him the first time, make sure the first time is the last time. Now,
That's an old Swedish proverb. I know. Come on.
Come on.
We have an excellent selection here. I think you'll find everything you want.
Oh, look, Pat, that looks like the hat I wore when I was a little boy in Stockholm.
Yep, came here on a slow boat.
Shall we look at dresses first?
Well, we're a little in the dark about what the well-dressed young ladies are wearing. Why don't you take over, huh?
Very well. Come with me, dear.
Here, Axel, will you take care of Craig,
Here,
please?
come on, little squirrel.
Miss Corbett, is Mrs. Taylor's daughter with you?
No, she isn't. I think Mrs. Taylor's chauffeur called for her.
Thank you.
I wonder how Pat looked when she dressed like a little girl.
It's simple, like a little girl.
That looks lovely.
As far as I'm concerned, they're all terrible.
Well, we have some others that are slightly less dramatic.
Try this one, Mrs. DeLacy.
It absolutely defeats me. Some man with a perverted sense of humor must be designing women's hats today. They all make you look ridiculous.
Well, Mrs. DeLacy...
This is the end. This one makes me look like a fruit salad.
We have the accessories, too. There are gloves and a bag that go with it.
All I need with this is some whipped cream. Oh, this is the last straw. This is the last straw. There was a wolf right on that hat. He tried to bite me.
What is it, Mrs. DeLacy? Is something wrong?
What kind of a shop is this? A wild animal climbs up with my head as I'm sitting there trying on a hat.
A wild animal?
Yes, a wild animal.
Oh, my dear Mrs. DeLacy, you must be imagining things.
Don't you tell me I'm imagining things. It was a wolf. I saw its fangs when it snarled.
Madam, we may have had an occasional wolf at the door, but never inside the shop.
Goodness sake.
Oh.
Here, little squirrel. Here, Cracky, Cracky. Here, Cracky. Here, Cracky, Cracky. Here, Cracky. Here, little squirrel. Here, Cracky. I was just looking for a little squirrel.
Wolves, squirrels. Oh. Well, how do you do, Mrs. Bradbury? I'm so glad to see you again. We've got some of the loveliest things in the shop this season. I should love to show them to you.
Very
Yes.
See, there he is. Ain't he cute?
Nice going, Axel. That's the stuff, huh? Bring him back alive.
Oh, boy, the cute tracker crack is harder to find than a haystack with needles in it.
What did you say about Craig?
Well, I was just telling Bud that...
Doesn't she look lovely?
Well, I certainly hope you're satisfied. Buzz, I'm so mad. I wouldn't do this for anybody but you.
Look at Pat.
There we are. And here's the finishing touch.
I can't believe it. Buzz, is it really me?
In person, you're a little young for a glamour girl, but you're off to a flying start.
That's right.
I'll get the grips. Madame, pay the nice lady, Axel.
Yes, I got it right here. How much is that? You see?
What's the number of Mr. Johnson's apartment?
26D, sir.
That's my lucky number. Here we go. Yeah, you look after this fella, Pat. He behaves better for you.
You'd better take him, Axel. I'm a little nervous.
Okay, come on, Cracky. You go down in there. I'll keep in touch with you from time to time.
Is Mr. Johnson in?
Mr. Johnson is not at home.
Oh, well, my name is Blackwell. This is Mr. Johnson's niece. He's expecting us. We'd like to wait if you don't mind.
As you wish, sir. Make yourselves comfortable.
Thank you, thank you.
Say, I guess this is what they call living high, huh?
Oh, you're sharp as jailhouse coffee today, Axel. Now, Pat, how would you feel if you came here in those overalls?
I don't think they'd have let me in.
Well, this is your new home, Pat. You might as well get used to it.
My. They eat out in the open air, just like we do when we knock off for lunch on the bridge.
Must be a party for you, Pat. See, my relatives never welcome me like that.
You're going to stay, aren't you, Buzz? I wouldn't know how to act in a place like this.
Don't act. Just be yourself. You'll be all right.
Buzz, you know, this is wonderful. I feel right at home here.
My uncle must have a very good business to live in a place like this. Why don't you get rich, Buzz?
No, that's a full-time job, Pat, and I'm a very busy man.
You're a very busy man.
Well, I am.
by a country road while roses grow that need my special care. So I haven't time to be a millionaire. And a cheerful brook on a mountainside is sad when I'm not there. So I haven't time to be a millionaire. And a friendly gang of robins are peeved when I forget that I'm the second tenor in their quartet. So with all the things I have to do, I'm very much aware. If I wished for wealth, it wouldn't be quite fair. 'Cause I haven't time to be a millionaire.
By a country road while roses grow that need my special care. So I haven't time to be a millionaire. And a cheerful brook on the mountainside is sad when I'm not there. So I haven't time to be a millionaire.
And a friendly gang of robins are peeved when I forget that I'm the second tenor in their quartet.
So with all the things I have to do, I'm very much aware.
If I wished for wealth, it wouldn't be quite fair.
Be quite fair. 'Cause I haven't time to be a millionaire.
How do you do? I hope I'm not intruding.
Well, how do you do? My name is Blackwell, this is Axel Svensson, and this is Patricia.
Hello.
Hello.
How do you do? You wanted to see me?
Well, yes, if you're J.B. Johnson, we do.
You pardon us, Jarvis, dear.
Of course, Brenda.
Shall we go out on the terrace?
I'm J.B. Johnson. What can I do for you?
Well, I thought I explained it in my telegram.
Telegram? There must be some mistake. What is it you want?
Well, I wired you all about, I wired you I was bringing Pat here to stay with you.
Are you sure you have the right Johnson?
Well, I think so. I've got the address right here. It's J.B. Johnson, 940 East 56th Street.
Oh, I think I understand. This should probably be west instead of east. Oddly enough, there's another J.B. Johnson on West 56th Street, and people frequently confuse us. We're always getting each other's mail.
Oh, I guess we wound up on the wrong side of town. Sorry we broke in on you like this.
Oh, don't apologize. It's a perfectly natural mistake.
Well, I guess we better be going. Come on, Pat. Axel. Well, so long. I'm sorry we bothered you.
That's quite all right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Well, anyway, it was nice to see how the other half lives.
What do we do now, Buzz?
Well, we make a phone call. There's no use trekking halfway across town. We know what we're doing. We can phone in here.
Shall we go out on the terrace, Brenda dear?
Thank you, Jarvis. I'd adore it.
How do you do? Hello. And what do you have, young lady?
2 chocolate sundaes. With plenty of nuts, please.
Yes, ma'am. 2?
Sure. One for me and one for Craig.
Yes, that squirrel's going to eat us out the house and lot. I have a Sunday, too.
Hello, is this J.B. Johnson? Well, my name is Blackwell.
There you are.
Come on, Craig. There's your lunch. Don't you dare try to hide any of that ice cream for the winter.
I bet that squirrel never got anything like that out in the woods.
Say, he's a cute little fella, ain't he? Haven't served a squirrel before.
No, but I bet you serve plenty of nuts. Say, that's a good yoke, ain't that, Pat?
I don't get it.
Well, I'm certainly glad we found you. Oh, great. Wait till you see her. Okay, we'll be right over. Goodbye. Well, there's no mistake this time. Come on, hurry up. They're waiting for us.
What about these?
Bring them along with you. Come on. Well, here we are. Come on.
Don't give up now. There are only a few more steps. Well, here we are. I'm glad to see you. I'm Joe Johnson, Mr. Blackwell.
Well, yeah, this is Mr. Swenson.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I don't have to tell you who this is. Pat, this is your granduncle Joe.
Hello, Uncle Joe.
Pat. Oh, I haven't seen you since you were that big. You remember that, don't you? Wait till your Aunt Marion sees you. Come on in. Come on in. Marion! 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 Make yourself right at home, boys.
Thanks.
She's liable to faint when she sees you. Marion, where are you?
Yes, here I am. Why, this isn't... You don't mean to tell me that you are... Are you really, Pat?
I guess I am, Aunt Marion.
Well, bless your heart.
And this is Mr. Blackwell and Mr. Spencer.
I'm happy to know you.
How do you do?
Let me look at you, darling. Oh, you're your mother all over again.
Now, none of that, Marion. You two ladies run along and leave us men to cut up a few touches.
Come on, dear.
What does that mean, cutting up touches?
When women do it, it's gossiping. But men have a fancy name for it. Come on, dear.
Gentlemen, be seated. May I have your hat, Mr. Blackwell?
Everybody calls me Buzz.
Well, that's fine. Then it's Buzz and Joe.
Right.
And Axel. And this is Crack.
Hiya, Crack.
Well, I'm glad we finally got here, but I'm sorry we had to bring you bad news.
You brought me Pat, and she's good news. I'm sorry I didn't know you were coming, or I'd have thrown a big party at the Ritz.
For a while, we thought Pat was going to step into society.
Yes, we went to a house near the water, but the water was in the wrong river.
What? Well, he means we went to 940 East 56th Street and found the wrong J.B. Johnson. He seemed to know you, though.
He should know me. I'm his uncle.
His uncle? Say, let me get this straight. You mean there was no mistake? That's where we were supposed to go?
The J.B. Johnson you met is Fred's brother.
Why, he denied knowing Pat. He didn't even give us a tumble.
If a dog did that, I'd say he wasn't human.
I can't understand it. I don't get it.
It's the old story, a family divided against itself. I split up with him when I went into vaudeville. Oh, in those days, society people wouldn't touch an actor with a fork.
But where do Jarvis and Fred come in?
Well, Fred married an actress, too. And that's when Jarvis got on his high horse.
Certainly a lovable character, that fella Jarvis. I can't imagine Fred sending Pat to him instead of to you.
Well, I guess Fred knew I wasn't doing so well.
My, what a strange consequence. You and your nephew living on the same street and with the same number.
The coincidence is that with all the Johnsons living in New York, that stuffed shirt had to be my nephew.
You could say that again.
Oh, by the way, here's a picture of Fred's wife when they first met.
Oh.
She was a great girl, Buzz, and sing. Ah.
I know who that is. That's my mother.
That's who it is, honey.
She was pretty, wasn't she, Buzz?
Yeah, she sure was, Pat.
Here's the song your mother sang when she wore that dress. Little Gray Home in the West.
I know that.
Why don't you sing it?
Shall I?
Sure, go ahead.
When the golden sun sinks in the hills and the toil of a long day is o'er, though forget I was weary before. For ahead where the blue shadows fall, I shall come to contentment and rest. The toils of the day will be all shorn away in my little gray home on the west. There are hands that will welcome me. There are lips I am burning to kiss. There are two eyes that shine just because they are mine. And 1,000 things other men miss. It's a corner of heaven itself, though it's only a tumble on nest. But with love burning there, why no place can compare with my little gray home in the
Oh, wasn't that swell?
Oh, darling, that was wonderful. Well, come on, everybody. I've got a little snack for you.
Oh, boy, when you mention snack, you got me automatically.
Everything's all right now, isn't it, Buzz?
Yeah, honey, I know we got the right Johnsons this time.
Come and get it. Hurry up now.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you? Say, who do I talk to about stocks?
Well, that'll be Mr. Melville, our investment advisor. Just have a seat, sir, and I'll see if he's busy.
Thank you.
What's an investment advisor, Buzz?
Oh, he's a fella who advises you what stocks to buy, you know. Tells you how to get rich.
If he knows how to get rich, why does he have to work?
He probably went broke taking his own advice.
Is he going to make us rich, Buzz?
Well, not exactly. You see, I got some stocks here that your daddy left, and I want to find out if they're worth anything.
Mr. Melville will see you now, sir. He's right over there.
Oh, thank you. Hold the fort, will you, Pat? I'll be back in the flash.
With a flash.
Oh, so it's Pat, is it? Well, now, I'm happy to know anyone with a name like that.
Hello.
Hello yourself. Hello, Pat.
How do you do?
Good afternoon, sir. The young lady's name is Pat, too, sir. Isn't it?
Yes. It's short for Patricia.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm John Blair. Tell me, what do you think of our little bank?
It's very nice. I've never been in a bank before. What are those people doing?
Well, some are depositing and some are withdrawing.
Withdrawing what?
Money. That's what a bank's for, my dear.
All day long, they're putting money in and taking money out.
It sounds like a good business.
Yes, it sounds like a good business.
Does he work here?
Work here? Mr. Blair's the general manager. He runs the whole shebang.
I'm sorry, Mr. Blackwell, but this stock isn't listed anymore.
What does that mean?
I'm afraid it means it's worthless.
Well, I'll just hold on to it a while. Might come back someday.
Not that stock. That's gone with the wind.
It's pretty, though, isn't it? Well, thank you for your trouble.
No trouble at all.
Is it true that money talks?
You can't prove it by me. I've never even heard it whisper.
Well, are we rich?
No, but we still got our health.
What do we do now, Buzz?
We go home and relax. When in doubt what to do, do nothing.
I'll have to teach that one to Axel.
It says here that vaudeville is absolutely coming back. Now, when that happens, we'll be on Easy Street again.
I hope it comes back before supper time. Another pound of meat wouldn't hurt this stew.
Well, stretch it. You've stretched them before.
If I stretch this anymore, I'll break it.
Hello, everybody. We're home. Something smells good. What's cooking?
It's stew, but don't ask me what's in it.
I hope it isn't our little squirrel.
Hello, Aunt Marion.
Well, there they are, Joe. Just a pocket full of dreams.
No good, eh?
No. Some stocks you can put away and forget about. Those you just forget about.
Hello, people. Have I got news? Tonight, everybody must have a good appetite for dinner.
How come?
Because if you don't, Gustav will be mad at me.
Gustav who?
Gustav Eriksson, he is my friend.
Well, why should he get mad if we don't have good appetites?
Because he might think you don't like his food. You can't insult the host, you know.
Now, wait a minute. Start all over. Begin right at the beginning.
Well, 15 years ago, I'm on a farm in Minnesota. Who is my neighbor?
Wisconsin.
Don't be silly. My neighbor is Gustav Eriksson. I call him Puddin' Face.
Oh, an aristocrat, huh?
Oh, no, he's a Swede, too. Well, anyway, I move away, and I don't see him for 15 years until today. And what do you think he is now?
He is still a Swede.
Right. And he owns a Swedish restaurant, and he invited us all to dinner.
Oh.
Marion, save the stew.
Oh.
Do that.
Mrs. Jansen, tonight you're going to have a Swedish dinner.
Oh.
You see, you start with the smörgåsbord. That's a little bit of everything, but lots of it. And then...
Min skål, din skål, alla vackra flickor, skål, bottoms up.
I didn't get the first part, but bottoms up is my language.
Axel, your face got more fatter and your stomach more flatter. But other than that, you didn't change a bit.
Ain't that funny, Buzz? Gustav is in America longer than me, and he still speaks with the accent.
Well, that's the best food I ever ate.
How do you spell smorgasbord?
I can't figure it out. I know that with food like yours, people ought to be fighting to get in here.
Yeah, you know that, and I know that. But with everybody else, it's a secret. Last week, my business was so bad, my doorman was arrested for vagrancy.
Is it really that bad?
Yeah, worse. Nobody don't even pick at the place anymore.
Puddin' Face, I told you you should never leave the farm. Why don't you sell the place and go back to Minnesota?
Yeah, sell the place, sure. But who wants to buy a restaurant where you can shoot cannons off without hitting a customer?
Maybe we find you a sucker.
Looks like the pessimistic character's got him, Buzz.
Yeah, the huh?
Pat thinks old man Gloom must be weighing you down, Gustav.
She's right, and I don't know how to shake him off.
Why, that's the simplest thing in the world. Hey, Maestro.
Yeah.
You know the pessimistic character?
You know everything.
Oh, come on over here and give us a helping of it, will you? One thing about songwriters, no matter what ails you, they got a remedy.
Yeah.
All right, boys, get me into this, will you?
Be kind and gentle, polite and nice, but with old man Gloom, take this advice. Throw him out the window, he can't stay. How did he get in here anyway? What do we want with him around the place? The pessimistic character with the crabapple face. When he hears a joke, he always cries. When there's any fun, he darn near dies. What do you say we laugh at his sad case? The pessimistic character with the crabapple face. He's never welcome anywhere he goes. Let him stay where he belongs, in a book of Edgar Allan Poe's. Why don't we lose him? We'll wrap him in a blanket carefully and throw him out the window, a 1, a 2, a 3.
It'll be great to wear a grin and chase the pessimistic character with the crabapple face.
Right.
Never let him get you all alone. He's the worst companion ever known. Don't know how to keep a merry pace.
The pessimistic character with the crabapple face.
Janne Jansen wordt de yak is. His brother Jan for joy, cause he named the yak as Jenny, and the yak is for the boy. By Yemeni, said Johnny, who's to blame for this disgrace?
The pessimistic character with the crabapple face.
He's no good at dancing, he can't sing. He despises rainbows, he hates spring. Why do we want him in the human race?
Oh, the pessimistic character with the crabapple face. He's got a handshake just like a lemon peel. He's the soul of discontent with the disposition of a heel. He's a sourpuss and he's no good at dancing. He can't sing. He despises rainbows. He hates spring. Why do we want him in the human race? Whoa, the pessimistic character with the crabapple face.
Well, I hate to
to be a wet blanket, but I think we're keeping the place open.
Have some more punch.
Oh, I pass. One more punch, I'd be groggy.
Don't coax and pudding face. I stay and keep you company.
Attaboy, Axel. You stay here and cut up a few touches.
Yeah, we touch up a few cuts.
Goodbye, Mr. Erickson, and thanks a lot.
Don't mention it. It's a pleasure to see a few faces, even if one of them is Axel's.
Good night.
Good night.
Mr. Erickson. Thanks so much.
Good night.
Good night, little squirrel. I see you later.
Yeah, I hope you can see later.
Good night.
Good night. By Yemeni, this is just like old times.
You remember my sister Lena?
Oh, yes.
She has got 8 kids now. If I could sell this place, I'd go back to Minnesota.
Pudding face, I wish I could help you. I only got a few friends, and you most of them. Buzz is my friend, too.
Yeah, Buzz is a nice fellow. I like him, by golly.
You do then, come on. Let's drink a toast to Buzz.
Yeah, to Buzz.
Well, goodbye, old friend.
Goodbye.
I think I go home.
You think you go home. Goodbye, old friend.
Listen, remember the time we went to Minneapolis on a spree?
Yeah, and you dared me to jump in the river and swim to St. Paul. And I almost drowned.
Oh, I love to help my friends.
Yeah.
Now, there's little Pat. She's my friend, too. I only wish I could help her.
We drink a toast to little Pat.
Yeah, a little toast to Pat.
To Pat.
Now I think I'll go home.
Look out, Axel. You break your fool neck there. That's a dangerous place.
Well, goodbye, old friend.
Goodbye, old friend. Minnesota, Minnesota. Why didn't they stay there like I ought to?
Oh, pudding face, I only wish I could do something, you know. I like to help my friends, not this crack, that little squirrel.
Yeah.
He's my little four-legged friend.
Axel, we drink a toast to crack.
Yeah, we drink to anything.
To crack. School. Well, then, goodbye, old friend.
This time I think I'll stay a while.
Well, here's our penthouse. Not as swanky as Jarvis's, but the view is just as good. Same moon, same stars.
And they're not particular what side of town they shine on. It's all the same to them.
I like it here, Buzz. I like this river better, too.
Well, I'm glad you do, Pat. I wouldn't feel so good if I thought you were going to be unhappy when I went away.
Why, Buzz, you're not thinking of leaving, are you?
Looks like I'll have to, Joe. I've lined up a job in Nevada. Starts in about a week.
Hate to see you go, Buzz. But don't worry about Pat. We'll take good care of her.
Yes, I wanted to talk to you about that. Joe, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor.
Certainly.
Well, Pat will be needing some things like school and clothes, and maybe she could be taking some more singing lessons.
Oh, we'll do everything we can.
Yeah, I know you will, Joe. But Axel is holding some money that we both saved together, and well, we want you to take it, just in case, until things start breaking a little better for you, you know. I want you to take it, Joe. You'll be doing me a big favor.
All right, Buzz.
Joe. Go and talk to her.
Stargazing?
You didn't tell me you were going away, Buzz.
Well, I didn't want to spoil Axel's party.
But you said we'd always be together. That's what you said, didn't you?
Sure, and that's the way I'd like it to be, too. Only a fella can't always have his own way, you know.
Guess not.
Well, cheer up, huh? Be a pal.
Sure, Buzz. That's the way you feel about it.
Oh, you know how I feel about it.
If I had my way, dear, forever there'd be a garden of roses for you and for me, 1,001 things, dear, I would do just for you, just for you. for you. If I had my way, you would never grow, and sunshine I'd bring every day. You would reign all alone like a queen on a throne. If I had my
There's everybody. Hello, everybody. Boy, have I got news.
Boy, have you got a snoot full.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, Swedish punch, how strong you are. Boy, have I got news.
Yeah, you said that. We heard
What's
that.
the matter, Axel? You meet another old friend?
It's more better than that.
Well, tell us, Axel.
It's Gustav. He's gone back to Minnesota.
Well, what did he do with the Swedish garden?
That's the news. He sold it.
Sold it? Tonight?
Tonight while I was there.
Oh, man, I pity the poor guy who put up good dough for that deserted dinette. Who bought it?
We did.
We did. What?
Yes.
Is that Swedish firewater talking, or are you on the level?
Oh, no, that ain't the firewater. That's me.
Are you crazy?
No, look, here's the keys and here's the receipt. And look, I paid cash for it, too.
Do you mean to say you gave our dough to that Nordic nitwit for a restaurant that's starving to death?
Yes, and was he happy?
Take care of him, Joe. I'm going to run down there and get our money back.
Hey, you better run fast. I just put him on the train from Minnesota.
Well, what's so funny about it?
You'll have to stay in town now, won't you, Buzz?
Yeah.
How to do, folks? Please have a little more soup. Waiter, bring these people some soup, and be sure there's plenty of noodles in there.
Oh, Buzz, can I see you a minute?
No complaint about the food, I hope.
No, I want you to meet some friends of mine. May I present Buzz Blackwell, Mr. and Mrs. O'Brien?
How do you do?
And this lady is Miss Grace LaRue.
How do you do, Mr. Blackwell?
How do you do, Miss LaRue? Yeah, you could have saved that introduction, Joe. I've seen you on the stage so many times, I feel like we're old friends.
Oh, well, that's the way I want you to feel.
The only thing I kind of miss, though, is that big red hat you used to wear.
Here's the young lady I told you about. Pat, I want you to meet Trixie Faganza and Julian Elton. Hello, honey.
Oh, I've seen pictures of you, Mr. Elton, and you were dressed just like a lady.
Yes, but don't forget, I always had a cigar in my mouth.
Trixie, what's this I read about you retiring?
Oh, don't believe everything you read, Marion. You know Trixie and her little bag of tricks.
Attention, everybody, please! Folks, I want to thank you for your patronage and for coming here on such short notice. My friend who inherited this place last night was worried about getting customers. So I told him I knew a lot of show people and that show people stick together. I knew you wouldn't let me down. How do you like the place? How do you like the food? Well, now I know you'd like to meet the new manager, my friend and a great fellow, Buzz Blackwell.
$183.60. Hey, Buzz, come here. You know something? Yours friends is pretty good spenders.
Hey, get away from that pot of gold. You're just the ringer-upper around here. I'm the salter away.
I was only going to put it in our safe deposit vault.
And after this, use that belt just to hold up your pants, you and that Gustav. Ah, $183.60. That's not a bad take for lunch and on our first day in business. Hey, what is this? Where's the rest of the money?
Where's the rest of what money?
Does that look like $183 to you?
Oh, Dad, we got signed checks for the rest. They're right in that little pigeon coop. Here, see right there. That's the one.
Do you mean all those people signed for their lunch and you let them do it?
They're your friends. You know you can trust them.
Well, what are we going to use for money? How about the butcher and the baker?
And the candlestick maker.
Yeah, are they going to trust us?
Well, why not? They trusted Gustav. Look, he owes them lots of money. You see?
What? Oh, this is terrible, terrible.
What's the matter, Buzz?
Oh, Pat, we're through before we start. That Swedish Jesse James left town owing more money than we can earn in 6 months.
You mean we're bankrupt already? Maybe we could juggle the books.
Take some fancy juggling to balance our books, my friend.
Well, do we need a lot of money, Buzz?
Plenty. Pat, this place is really in hock. Well, I think I'll see the chef, find out what he knows about it.
Pat, where you going?
Tell Buzz I'll see him later.
A young lady to see you, Mr. Blair. Her name is Pat Johnson.
Pat Johnson?
She says her uncle is J.B. Johnson.
Oh, tell her to come in.
Come on in, honey.
Hello, Pat.
Hello, Mr. Blair.
Why didn't you tell me who you were the other day? Your uncle's a very good customer of ours.
He is?
Yes. It's nice of you to call. I don't usually have social visitors during banking hours.
Oh, but this isn't a social visit. I'm here on business.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, take a seat. And now then, young lady, will you please state the nature of your business?
Well, have some chocolate?
Thank you. I'm very fond of chocolate. Now, you were about to say?
Oh, yes. Well, Mr. Blair, I came to withdraw some money. You know, like those people you showed me.
Oh, I see. And about how much do you plan to withdraw?
Do you think you could spare $5,000?
$5,000? That's quite a lot of money.
I know, but I need a lot of money.
Well, I think we might scrape it up. I assume, of course, you have that much in your account.
Account? What's that?
That's the money you put in. You see, this bank has a rule. Before you can take money out, you have to put money in.
That's silly. If I wanted to take it out, well, why would I put it in?
Your point's well taken. However, we have to abide by our rules. Now, we might arrange to lend you some money.
I don't care how you do it, as long as I get it.
That's the way most people feel. Well, if you want the bank to make you a loan, what have you to offer as security?
I don't know what that is.
Maybe I can explain. Now, you have a chocolate bar here that's worth 10 cents, and you want to borrow 5 cents from me. I lend you the 5 cents, and you let me hold your chocolate bar as a guarantee that you'll pay me back my nickel. The chocolate bar would then be what we call security.
Oh.
And when it's time to pay me back, I return your chocolate bar, and you return my nickel. Plus 2 gumdrops interest.
I understand now. Banks only lend money to people who have money, even if they've spent it on something else.
Well, roughly, yes.
Well, thank you just the same, Mr. Blair. Guess I'll be going.
Why don't you tell your uncle your problem? Maybe he'd help you out.
Why, he's one of the people I'm trying to get the money for.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Pat.
I almost forgot my security.
Oh, good afternoon, gentlemen. Is this table all right?
We won't need a table, thank you. Are you the new proprietor?
Well, I'm one of them. My name is Swenson.
How are you? I'm Harris of the Friendly Finance Company. We're here to be paid or we'll attach the place.
Attach it to what?
Very funny, but we'll have to collect Mr. Swenson or we'll move our property out.
Oh, well, could you give us a little more time, say, maybe till Monday? We're kind of short of cash, you know.
All right, Mr. Swenson, you can have until Monday. But that's as long as we'll wait.
Oh, thank you. Could you stay here a minute, please, and I go tell my partner. Buzz! Buzz!
Yeah, what is it?
The creditors are here for their money.
Creditors? Already?
Yeah, but I talked them into waiting until Monday.
Monday?
Yeah, otherwise they attach us to something.
That's only 3 days. We need more time than that. You should have called me. Why do you talk to these people?
Well, they talk to me first.
Well, I'll show you how to handle this. When I get through talking to them, they'll give us all the time we want. They can't do a thing like that to us.
This place looks different without the furniture. Hey, move that stuff from the kitchen out the back way.
Well, there he goes. Our old friend Gustav. So what could we do? I put the key in the lock and closed the place, and that's that.
And you think, I told Gustav I would find him a sucker.
You found one.
I'm sorry about those tabs, Buzz, but you know how actors are. They'll pay you when they get it.
Oh, forget it, Joe. Those few dollars aren't going to make us or break us. What I'd like to do is dig up some real money and try and save what we put into the place.
What do you think it'll cost?
Well, the creditors would probably be satisfied with a couple of $1,000, but it's not that, Joe. The place needs a shot in the arm. I'd like to redecorate it, you know, and get a fresh start on the whole thing.
Buzz is right. Who wants to sit in a Swedish garden?
Swedes.
Say, you know, meeting a lot of those old-timers today gave me a pretty good idea. I'll bet the public would still love to see them in action. You take some of those stars of the past and put them in a setting of the early 1900s, and call the place the Tin-Type Club or something. Might go pretty good, huh?
That's great. And a lot of those people could use the work, too.
Yes, and those that don't need the work would jump at the chance to get back in harness again.
That's a great idea, all right, but those creditors want cash, not conversation. Hello, Pat. Where'd you disappear to?
I went to the bank.
The bank?
Yes. You said we needed some money, and I thought sure I could get it there.
I'll bet you got a hearty welcome.
Oh, yes. Mr. Blair, that's the manager, was very nice. But he couldn't break the rule.
What rule?
Banks only lend money to people who have money.
That's a funny way of putting it. But I guess you can't expect people to lend you money unless they got a fair chance of getting it back, can you?
Hello? Jarvis. Well, it's a long time since I've heard from you.
Jarvis, what does he want?
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. Blair just called me. Now, I don't want that kid or any of the rest of you using my name to try to borrow money.
Jarvis, you're even sillier than I thought you were. Who'd lend a child like Pat $5,000 even with your important name?
Does he think we sent Pat to the bank? Well, let me talk to that guy. Listen, Johnson, this is Blackwell. Do you remember me?
Very well, but I have nothing to say to you.
Well, I have something to say to you. Do you know what I think? You're a heel. A flat, miserable, run-down heel. I'd make it stronger, only the ladies present.
All right, Blackwell, now you listen to me. Tell my relatives to stay out of my life, or I'll take steps to keep them out. That goes for them and you. And that kid, too.
That suits me fine. I'm taking care of Pat, and after meeting you, I'm tickled to death. That's the way it is.
Give me that phone. Listen, my dear nephew, you just look out for your side of the family, and I look out for mine, and don't bother me again for another 10 years.
Joe, I'm proud of you. Anybody who can keep from slugging that guy all these years deserves a medal.
I'm glad he called up. I'd almost forgotten how much I hated him.
There's an old Swedish proverb that fits him beautifully.
Oh, here we go again, folks.
Heaven gives us our relatives, but we... oh, it fits him good.
There's no use talking. The wrong Johnson has the money. Now, there's a fella could loan us what we need and never even miss it.
Maybe he would, if he thought he had a chance of getting it back.
Pat, you're a wonder. I just been struck by lightning.
Where?
Right there. Now, listen, when you want to borrow money, where do you always get it?
Not from a bank.
Right. You always get it from a place you least expect it.
I found that out.
Well, all right, then, listen to this. Come here. I'm going to send a wire to Tommy Morgan, a pal of mine out in Gold Creek, Wyoming, and ask him to do me a favor. Boy, if this works, we'll be killing two birds with one stone. It will work. It's got to work.
1, 2, 3, 4. Turn around. Turn around.
Mr. Johnson.
3,
Brenda! Brenda! Take a look at this. It's from Gold Creek, Wyoming.
Gold Creek, Wyoming. Do we know anybody there?
Read it. Read it.
Oh, very interesting, but how does it concern us?
Brenda, can't you see? This is the break I've been waiting for. This may be our financial salvation.
You're talking in bunches, Jarvis. I don't follow you.
Listen, according to this, Fred left valuable stocks. Pat must have them now, and I'm her closest relative. Now, when I'm appointed her legal guardian, simple, isn't it?
Oh, very simple. But aren't you overlooking one minor detail?
What's that?
Well, the courts do give children some choice in selecting their guardians. And after what's happened, I doubt very much if Patricia would ever choose you. Didn't you know your brother had those stocks?
If I'd known it, do you think I'd ever have let you turn the child out of my own house?
Oh, that's right. Blame me for your stupid mistakes. This is your fault, and you know it.
What's the difference whose fault it is? A mistake has been made, and I've got to correct it.
Well, then the first thing you'd better do is try to make up with your relatives.
Brenda, you're right. I've been a fool. Blood is thicker than water. Why should I be at war with my own flesh and blood?
You shouldn't. That child really needs your protection.
Of course she does, my dear. I'll call Uncle Joe immediately. Now you go right in and dance, and don't you worry.
How to do? My name is Swenson. You remember me?
I do. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson are not at home.
Well, I only come to get a suitcase. I think we left it here the other day.
Nothing was left here, Mr. Swenson. Good day.
Hedges, we're always at home to our friends. Well, well, come right in, Mr. Swenson. Glad to see you.
Thank you
Glad
very
to
much.
see you. How have you been, Mr. Swenson?
Oh, I got a little pain in my arm.
Fine, fine. And how is our friend, Mr. Blackwell?
Oh, Buzz, he's all right.
Where is Mr. Blackwell?
You mean right now?
Yes, yes.
Oh, he's out in the hall waiting for me.
He's outside in my hall now?
Yes, that's right.
Just a minute, please. Brenda, Brenda, I want you to meet Mrs. Johnson.
Yes, dear?
Look who's here, dear. Mr. Swenson. You remember him, Mr. Blackwell's friend?
Oh, yes, of course.
You entertain Mr. Swenson, dear. I'm going out in the hall and get Mr. Blackwell.
How do you do, Mr. Swenson?
Oh, how do you do?
But how sweet of you to come, Mr. Swenson. Would you enjoy a little rumba?
No, it's too early to drink. I would rather dance.
Blackwell, can I see you a minute?
You don't want to see me about anything.
Yes, yes, I do. I'm afraid I've been very rude to you.
I'm afraid you have.
Yes, well, I hope you'll forgive me. I've been wrong, Blackwell, and I admit it. Will you accept my apology?
Mr. Johnson, when a man comes to me and says he's been wrong, there's only one thing I can do.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way. Won't you come in?
Thank you.
I won't try to justify myself, but I've been very upset lately.
You don't have to explain anything to me, Mr. Johnson. I know how these family things are. They happen to everybody.
Yes, yes. Here we are. Sit right down, Mr. Blackwell. Will you have a cigarette?
No, I'll smoke this if you don't mind.
Not at all. Buzz. It is Buzz, isn't it?
That's right, Jarvis. It is Jarvis, isn't it?
Fine, fine. Now, I'll tell you what's on my mind. I feel badly about the way I've treated Pat, and I want to make up for it. Tell me, how's the child fixed?
You mean financially? Oh, not well, Jarvis. Not well at all.
You mean Fred left nothing? No insurance?
Just about enough to cover the debts.
I'm surprised. I thought at least he'd have a few bonds.
No bonds.
No stocks either? I know Fred used to dabble in the market.
Well, I'm afraid the stocks Fred left won't do Pat much good.
Oh, then he did leave some stocks.
Well, about 1,000 shares in some wildcat company, but I guess Fred wasn't much of a businessman.
Well, they may have some value. Do you know who has the certificates?
Oh, I have. It's a funny thing, isn't it? You asking about the stocks, and I had them right here in my pocket all the time. You can take a look at them if you want to, but really wouldn't do much good. I had them down at the bank this morning, and they didn't encourage me at all.
Well, banks can be wrong, too. Baldwin Development Company. Never heard of them. Buzz, I'm afraid you're right.
Yeah, I guess so, but it was worth a try anyhow.
Buzz, I want to see that Pat is taken care of. Now, if you're agreeable, I'll take these 1,000 shares off your hands and pay you their par value, $5,000.
No, Jarvis, I couldn't let you do that.
No, not a word. Let me sit there, please.
But that stock isn't worth a quarter. You're practically making Pat a gift.
Let that be a little secret between you and me. You can tell Joe you got the money at the bank.
Jarvis, I've met a lot of men in my life, a lot of men. But very few of them would do what you're doing.
Oh, forget it. Just my good deed for the day. There you are.
Well, thank you. Thank you for Pat and for all of us.
It's nothing. Shall we join my guests?
A pleasure.
Come on, everybody has to do the conga.
Look, Buzz, I'm a jumping jitterbug. How did things work out?
Everything's okay.
To get the dough?
Yes, sir.
How much you get?
5 G's, gotta fix that old cafe. Gonna get started right away. Yahoo! Mucho bueno.
Hey, wait a minute.
Who, me?
Oh, it's you, huh? Where do you think you're going to hang that Minnesota muzzler?
Where do you think?
I think that's just where he belongs.
Well, Buzz, we're all set. Listen to this for talent. Eddie Leonard, Blanche Ring, 6 hits and a miss. Paul Gordon, ably supported by...
By a great audience, I hope. Say, come here. How's this for a list of reservations? Looks to me like the stars of yesterday got plenty of friends today, huh? You know we're going to be packed opening night, Joe?
The more the merrier.
How's this for a gag? I thought we'd give these to the customers and let them tickle themselves to death. Well, we like them anyhow. You know, this is all pretty new to me, Joe. You think it'll work out?
Think it. I know it.
Hello? Tin Type Club? Party of 12? In whose name shall I make the reservation, please? Mrs. Jarvis B. Johnson. It's Brenda.
Brenda.
Brenda, darling. This is Marion. Marion, darling. I read the ad in the papers, and I wouldn't dream of missing the opening. Oh, I'll make sure you have a lovely ringside table.
Ask her about Jarvis. Is he coming?
It'll be so good to see you and Jarvis, Brenda. Oh, well, I'm afraid Jarvis won't be there. He's gone out west on a big business deal. Well, I must say goodbye, dear. I'll see you at the opening. We'll be looking for you. Bye-bye.
Well?
Jarvis won't be here. He's gone out west on a big business deal.
And if Jarvis is gone where I think he's gone, he's in for a beautiful surprise.
What are you trying to do? Kill me?
It's your own fault.
Are you sure this is the way to the Baldwin Development property?
Yeah, this is where it starts. If you want the office, it's right over the hill.
Hello there! Is this the Baldwin property? Yep, every gallon of it. Well, what happened to the people who run it?
Must have got discouraged. They started off digging for gold, but there weren't no gold. Then they tried drilling for oil, but there weren't no oil neither. Then they divided up into streets, and that might have worked. But that's when the flood came.
When did this happen?
2 years ago. Yep, Looks mighty wet for a gold mine now, but it sure is a good spot for fishing.
Gentlemen, in these hectic days of hepcats and jitterbugs, we can't help but believe that a lot of people must sigh now and then for the gracious style of entertainment of a bygone day. Seems to me that the great brilliant stars of yesteryear are a lot like diamonds. They both grow older with the years, but time doesn't dim their brilliance. A gem is just as much a gem today as it was 40 years ago. We have a famous star with us tonight. He's 64 years young and he's raring to go. The greatest minstrel man of all time, Eddie Leonard.
When the sun am sinking out in the golden west, and the little robin, the red dress there, ought to build a nest. Why ain't you gonna stand for an old song we all love the best? Why every evening the white folks hear me sigh, sweeter apple cider, sweeter, more than all I know. I come on out my love. In the loving moonlight, some love I'll whisper, so soft and low. Seems I can't live without you. Why, listen to me. Oh, listen, honey, listen. Oh, my honey, oh, doodly-woe, 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 Ida, Elijah. I love you, Ida, doodle, 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 doodle. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, give me Ida. Give me Ida.
Ida, sweet as apple cider. Do, 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 sweeter than all I know. Come out in the silvery moonlight. Of love will whisper, whisper soft and low. Do, 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 seems though I can't live without you. Listen, honey, do, 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 walk. I love ya, Ida, indeed I do.
Oh, I love you, Ida, doodle, 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 doodle.
Here we go again, folks. Around and around the little wheel goes, and when she stops, what have you got? Paul Gordon.
Now, here's what we'd better do. You wait here, Lieutenant, and I'll call you when I need you.
Okay, we'll be right here.
I'm sorry, sir. The show is on. Mr. Blackwell's busy. He's not too busy to see me. There he is, the swindler. Blackwell. I want $5,000, and I want it fast.
Quiet, Jarvis. Please, you'll break up the whole show.
I'll break up more than the show. You can't get away with this.
Now, take it easy. Come on outside. We can talk quiet.
Baldwin Development Company. You can't make a fool out of me. I won't stand for it. Now, listen, Blackwell. There's a law against defrauding people.
Well, now, wait a minute. Nobody defrauded anybody.
Oh, no? How about that phony telegram? You took my money for stock that you knew was worthless.
And I told you it was worthless.
Yes, but you told me in such a way that you made me think you were lying.
Can I help it if you got larceny in your blood? You said that money was a gift to Pat.
Only you and I know that. And my word's as good as yours.
Buzz, the bicycle act isn't it finished?
Oh, okay. Say, Jarvis, wait for me, will you? I'll be right back.
Wait, nothing. I want my money or I'll close this place now tonight. I'll have it raided.
Now, listen, this place is a hit and nobody's going to spoil it. Axel Keaton here, will you?
Oh, be reasonable, Mr. Jansen. We got a lot at stake here.
I've got $5,000 at stake.
But you got a better chance to get your money if you wait till Buzz comes back.
I won't wait a minute longer.
No. Don't close the place, Mr. Jansen. You don't know how hard we work to open that door.
I'll get my money or I'll close it.
Oh, but please, Mr. Jansen, if you only knew how we struggle to open it.
That doesn't interest me.
Oh, please, Mr. Jansen, let us keep it open.
Take your hands off me. I'm going to get those detectives.
Oh, no, you're not. That's where he belongs, with the rest of them balonies.
Where's Jarvis?
Don't worry about him. He's cooling off.
Stay with him, huh? Anyone past the romper age must recall with pleasure such songs as In the Good Old Summertime and Yip-Bi-Yaddy-Yi-Yi. The Tin Type Club is happy to present the star who made these songs famous, singing the song she made most famous of all, Miss Blanche Ring.
Sure, I've got rings on my fingers, bells on my toes, elephants to ride upon my little Irish rose. Come to your nabob on St. Patrick's Day, be a mistress, mumbo, jumbo, jijgy, bob, jay, oh, shay. For I've got rings on my fingers, bells on my toes, elephants to ride upon my little Irish rose. Come to your nabob and on St. Patrick's Day, be a mistress, mumbo, jumbo, jijgy, bob, jay, oh, shay.
But, Pat, it won't hurt him. They keep lamb chops hanging up in there for days.
But he's not a lamb chop. You'd better take a look.
And now, by way of variety, we want to bring you a song of today. Who knows, 20 years from now, this might be an old favorite. We hope.
I used to think a love song was none of my affair, but one fine spring I heard a certain music in the air. April played the fiddle, and my heart began to dance. And I was so surprised to find my arm around romance. April played the fiddle, and I memorized the tune. And later on, a dream and I went singing to the moon. Then May began to gossip, and June just winked her eye, and you should have seen the know-it-all expression on July. April played the fiddle, Ah, but here's the funny part. I had to pay the fiddler with my one and only heart. Then May began to gossip, and June just winked her eye, and you should have seen the know-it-all expression on July. April played the fiddle, ah, but here's the funny part. I had to pay the fiddler with my one and only heart.
Thank you very much. And now, until the next show, everybody dance. Hey, Louie.
Yes, boss?
Anybody go out the back door tonight?
Not tonight, boss.
Did you see Uncle Jarvis?
He's disappeared. I don't know where he's gone.
I do.
What? Jarvis! How did you get in there?
Blackwell, you'll answer for this.
Louie, bring some brandy.
You'll all go to jail.
Now keep cool.
Keep cool? You freeze me to death, and then you tell me to keep cool.
Pat, run and get your Uncle Joe, will you?
Uncle Joe won't help you. He's in on this, too.
Take it easy, Jarvis. Now take it easy. Here, take a shot of this. This'll warm you up.
Pat, what's your hurry? Mrs. Blair and I want to thank you for inviting us.
Yes, it was very sweet of you.
I'm sure your place here is going to be a great success.
It might be if we could keep it open.
Well, why shouldn't you keep it open?
It's something about money. Uncle Jarvis is here, and he said he's going to put us all in jail.
Jarvis said that?
Yes, and from the way he said it, I think he meant it.
Suppose you take me to him. Excuse me, please.
All right, take it easy now, Jarvis. Take it easy.
Let me out of here. You can't hold me here against my will.
Leave him to me, boss. I'll quiet him down.
Oh, Buzz, come here a minute.
Hold him here, will you, boys, till he's all thawed out?
Now, you'd be a good little boss.
Buzz, I want you to meet a friend of mine. This is Mr. Blair, my banker.
How do you do? Hello, Blackwell. I understand you're having trouble with our friend Jarvis.
Yes, he is acting a bit unruly.
Do you mind if I talk to him?
Oh, you can talk to him, but I won't guarantee he's going to listen. Come on.
The district attorney will hear about this. You hoodlums can't bully me.
Hello, Johnson.
Oh, Blair, thank goodness. I'm certainly glad to see you.
Okay, boys.
What seems to be the trouble?
I've been victimized. This man cheated me out of $5,000.
Mr. Blair, if you'll only let me explain...
Just a minute. Johnson, I don't know whether you've got any claim against these people or not. But if you have, come up to my office in the morning and I'll settle it.
May I ask what business this is of yours?
I'm making it my business.
Oh, I see. Then am I to understand that you're going to make good my loss?
You have my word for it.
Very well, I'll be at your office tomorrow.
But for the last time.
We'll survive.
Oh, gee, Mr. Blair, I don't know how to thank you.
Don't try. And we'll talk about arranging a loan in the morning.
But you said we needed security.
You have security now, Pat. A going business that looks like a success. And Blackwell, I like the idea behind what you're doing. I'll see you later.
Thank you. Oh, boy, wait till Axel hears the news. By the way, where is Axel?
I don't know, Buzz. He was...
Axel! Oh, a Swedish cold cut.
But, Brenda, please.
Wait a minute. Come on and stop acting like a hillbilly. It's time this feud was over. Here we are. Marion, darling, will you dance with him, please? I'd be delighted. Come on, Jarvis. Come on.
How about me? I'm part of this family, too.
Well, of course you are.
Oh, look, Buzz. Uncle Jarvis is really thawed out now.
My, ain't it wonderful? We're going to have a happy ending.
Well, that's just the way it should be, Axel.
You know, Buzz, it's just like a storybook. Only we have no romance.
No romance? Oh, well, we'll fix that in a minute. Come on, Pat.
My Juliet, I swear by yonder moon that thou shalt ever be my only one.
Ah, rather I swear not by yon inconstant moon, for I am far more partial to the sun.
Ah, but the moon was made for dreamers, and the dreams were made for...
Stop.
Stop.
Stop dreaming behind a pillow, no matter what poets say. Get up, get out, and meet the sun halfway. Get into the tub, and as you begin to rub and scrub, give out with your version of the road to Mandalay. Don't ever expect the bright side served up to you on a tray. Get up, get out,